You won't believe what happened. Was Bill Maher silenced on his own show? Megyn Kelly's latest appearance on Real Time is the most satisfying rebuttal of Bill's attempts at twisting the narrative on economy and immigration under Donald Trump. And there's so much it ties into that I need to tell you about after you look at what was said.
Trump has incendiary rhetoric, there's no question. But we have 4 years to judge him by, and the country was going pretty well when Trump was in there, unlike the 4 years we've had under these two.
Well, I mean, I could argue with that too. Actually, if Trump had this economy, and I could go through all the stats, the stock market is through the roof, wages are up.
Not as high as it was under Trump.
Well, first of all, Trump inherited somebody else's economy.
That's what Barack Obama would like us to do.
Well, it's true.
Okay.
It's really on day one, everything changed.
So just walk me through it. So Trump has Obama to thank for his economy,
okay,
but Biden can't thank Trump for anything.
Okay. Let's get off this. Because it's not what I really want to get to.
That chuckle there at the end by Bill Maher was basically a verbal surrender, and you know why? There's one absolutely inescapable fact on the economy that leaves no room for someone like Bill to filibuster, which is that 12 of the last 16 years in the country have been ruled by a Democratic administration, and it's such a convenient talking point to refer to rare world events as the scapegoat for poor economic performance. For Barack Obama, it was the 2008 crash right around the start of his presidency, and for Joe, it was obviously the economic slump as a result of the pandemic. By the way, subscribe and hit the notification bell because we are not distracted by these talking points. Now, I think if there's one broad barometer for judging true economic health, it's how much purchasing power the working class in the country has and how well they believe it's going for them. A poll from CBS a couple months ago revealed how 65% of Americans believe the economy was better under Donald Trump than Joe Biden. That's not just Republicans, but representative of the entire electorate, including Democrats and political centrists. There's not room for political partisanship left when people are struggling to even make ends meet. And inflation numbers don't look pretty either. While it has started to slow down in the last few months, what people conveniently miss out on is that inflation is cumulative at over 26%, and look at the steep rise in the graph right after January of 2021. That's what people are painfully feeling, and all of that sentiment is going to translate at the ballot box. But that's just one aspect of it, because while someone like Bill Maher may be able to shield himself from the problems caused by inflation or illegal immigration, Megyn Kelly brought him back to reality once again about the border.
Look, you want to know why I'm going to vote for him, notwithstanding what you said. And I'll give you a couple good reasons off the top of my head. Number one, what's happened with illegal immigration. I'm voting for him because I don't want any more Laken Rileys. I don't want any more Jocelyn Nungaros, the 12-year-old girl who was killed in Houston by two Venezuelan illegal immigrants who took her to a bridge and murdered her and threw her over the bridge.
And Americans have ever done that?
That's not the point. We have to take the Americans. I know, but we don't have to take it from Venezuelan illegals.
Okay, I agree with you. I agree we took in too many immigrants. But the idea that you take in immigrants, I would assume you concede we should do that to a degree. We should take in people from other countries. We take in like 1 million legal every year.
Legal is one thing.
Anytime you take in 1 million people, some of them are going to commit crimes, like of any group.
That is such a tired trope from many on the left that know they've got no real comeback on this, and forget everything that's contested on either end of the political aisle about it. The mere fact that numbers don't lie means it's the most vivid failure of the Biden administration over the last 4 years. That figure that Megyn Kelly mentioned of around 11 million illegal migrants in the country, according to Pew Research, is a number that has reverberated impact across domestic security, economy, and the delicate welfare system that we all rely on at one point or another. And that's why Bill Maher's cavalier reaction is such a giveaway, because he knows there's no other way to get out of this than zooming out and refusing to talk about specifics.
We should take in people from other countries. We take in like 1 million legal every year.
Legal is one thing.
Anytime you take in 1 million people, some of them are going to commit crimes, like of any group.
Do you have any idea how many illegals we let in under Biden-Harris?
Okay, so that's your issue?
That's one of them. 10.4 million at least. That's what Customs and Border Patrol says. It's probably more. That doesn't count the gotaways. 10.4. You know how many it was under Trump? 2.3.
But that's more important than democracy and
That is democracy. What is America if we let in another 20 million illegals who come into your community, who overrun your town, who endanger you, who take up social service money so that your community center closes, so that you can't pay for basic services for your townsmen?
We're talking about size of things, like Arnold Palmer.
That is an astounding figure, and that's what Bill Maher's reaction is to it. For a bit of statistical context, more than 3/4 of countries on the planet have an entire population of less than 11 million. That means the US has basically absorbed an entire medium-sized country into itself. And then people on the left tell you there's absolutely no impact that it's going to have on the delicate systems and infrastructure we've built. And worse yet, Bill Maher doesn't do it. But there's even people on the far left of the issue that try to shut down the entire debate on it by tying it to an ugly racial calculation that should never exist in the first place. Megyn Kelly was praised here for being upfront and assertive about it enough to shut down Bill Maher's attempts at obfuscation, but maybe it's that she's arguing a point that should make sense while Bill Maher just looks like he's got blinders on when he deflects the Biden administration's record on economy and illegal immigration. And it's not that Bill Maher is stupid, because he's not. He's just standing in a very uneasy place in politics where his old party has abandoned him ideologically, and he doesn't have a home on the other side. I think Megyn Kelly understood that as well, which is why you see her try to court Bill Maher rationally, rather than simply treat him as an opponent that needs to be defeated. She shared her reaction to the conversation later, and I think her assessment here makes sense.
I wanted to say another word about the Bill Maher appearance, which was very fun. I went out to LA on Friday and did his show, and I appreciated him inviting me because it's a chance to speak to a new audience who probably doesn't watch the show, and I think speak some sense to them on items that they don't normally hear discussed. Bill, I appreciate, gave me the forum to do it, and it was great. We had some spicy moments, and we had some things on which we agreed, and I'm going to show you a couple of sound bites on that. The thing about Bill is he's a non-woke liberal, not leftist, liberal, but he definitely has some serious hatred for Donald Trump. Some say he has TDS. He loathes the man. So he's kind of an interesting combination of things. I get it. Bill and Trump have a very, very negative history between the two of them. And, a lot of people don't like Trump. But ideally, when you're making a presidential decision, you can check, your personal feelings about a guy and make a call. And I think Bill thinks he's doing that. And Bill thinks he told me on air, he thinks I will regret voting for Donald Trump and defending his, quote, fascism, which I told him I don't believe any of those charges.
And that's what I don't think Bill is doing enough of. Remember his show in the last 3 years that's seen somewhat of a dangerous volatility in audience numbers. First, it seemed like his audience was tuning out because he refused to follow them along to the far left. And then he started to gain some more viewers on the center and center right, which shored him back up. But still, I think it's only a matter of time that he sheds his political image that he has put on, especially if the Democrats continue to disappoint him like the way they have. Let me know in the comments if you agree and share the video across your social media so you have something to compare him with in the future if he does decide to go on the path of political evolution.